Alright, in this example problem, we are going to add vector A and vector B together. So vector A is 150 kilometers, 20 degrees north of west, and B is 300 kilometers west of south. So the first thing I'm going to do is draw my coordinate system in. So we have north and south, east and west. Alright, A is 20 degrees north of west, so I'm going to point west and go north of it. So we're going to be in here, so this is going to be 20 degrees, and this is vector A, and vector B is going to be 300 kilometers 30 degrees west of south. So I'm going to point south and sweep west, which is going to be in here. So my 30 degrees is going to be in here, and this is going to be vector B. Alright, so now I'm going to draw in my components. So this is A of x, and this is A of y, and this is B of y, and then this is B of x. So A of x is going to equal A times the cosine of theta, because the x component is adjacent to the angle provided, so I'm going to take 150 kilometers times the cosine of 20 degrees. And this is going to give me 141 kilometers. But because it's pointing in the negative x direction, you need to put a minus sign there. A of y is going to equal A times the sine of theta, because the y component is opposite the angle provided. So we're going to take 150 kilometers times the sine of 20 degrees. So A of y is going to equal 51 kilometers, and that's in the positive y direction, so I'm just going to leave it positive. Now here's the tricky thing. B of x is going to equal B times the sine of theta, because in this case the 30 degrees is opposite to the x component. So B of x is going to equal 300 kilometers times the sine of 30 degrees. So B of x is going to equal 150 kilometers, and that's in the negative direction, so we need to put a minus sign, and B of y is going to equal B times the cosine of theta, because the y component is adjacent to the 30 degrees. And look at me, writing sine automatically. So cosine of 30 degrees. So that should give us 260 kilometers, but that's also in the negative direction because it's pointing downward, so we're going to put a minus sign there. So now we're going to take A of x plus B of x, and that's going to equal R of x. So you're going to have a negative 141 kilometers plus a negative 150 kilometers. That's going to equal R of x, so R of x is equal to a negative 291 kilometers. And Ry is going to equal A of y plus B of y. So Ry is going to equal 51 kilometers plus a negative 260 kilometers, which is going to give us a negative 209 kilometers. Alright, so now that we have the components of our result, we are going to draw our new coordinate system. And I'm going to start with the x. So R of x is negative, so I'm going to draw along the negative x-axis, so this would be R of x. And I'm going to draw Ry off of the tip of R of x. So it's a negative, so I'm going to draw downward. And I'm going to connect to get R and the angle in here. So R is going to equal the square root of R of x squared plus R of y squared. And so we get a result of 358 kilometers. And to get theta, we are going to use inverse tangent. So Ry over R of x. So we're going to take the negative 209 kilometers divided by the negative 291 kilometers, and that's going to give us an angle of 35.7 degrees. So we're going to point west and then sweep south. So this is going to be south of west.